What is happening, everyone? I am Gav, the Master974 here again, giving you a short hammer tutorial to create what you're seeing ahead of you. And no, it is not this ridiculously bad artwork to denote what this actually is. I know, I made that myself, and that's how you can tell it sucks. But what we're focusing on is this little thing here. I like to call it a fizz block. It is a custom Emancipation Field Idea, which I've had for a Portal mod for some time. And let's just get straight into how to create this as basic as it is. Let me just go into this project here. So we start off with our 128 by 128 sort of corridor area here, but you can use whatever dimensions you really want to. I mean, that's the typical Valve units, if you will, of like room size in a Portal and all that. But what we are going to use is the Portal cleanser static model. You can have it to be dynamic if you plan to have it, you know, move around and all that, but that's up to you. I mean, you can do if you want to, but it could be used for some interesting design. I must admit, I am kind of curious to see what that would be like. Then just shift drag over and rotate in the z-axis 180 degrees, and there you go. So then we have our field right around here. So what we want this thing to do is allow the player to walk through, allow portals to go through, but deny physics objects a way past. So the way we can go about doing this is if we create an invisible block at around the middle of the fields here. So just create a block that goes across the room. Mine's about 130, don't know why. Just match it to the dimensions of the corridor, if you will. I don't know why it might be there actually. So do something like, just make it 1 unit thick as well. So it's something like that. So get something that goes about in the middle of the cleansers and covers the height and width of the corridor room that you're dealing with in terms of the cleanser size. Now in my map, I create 2 of these Funk Clip V Physics blocks. Now you don't need to create 2 because basically one filters the box that you'll use, and the other one is a filter that is everything but the box. So for what it's worth, you might as well just create 1 and make it so basically it clips all physics objects and passing through. And to be honest, that's pretty much it. It's quite simple, right, when you think about it. But of course, if you play this in game, I won't show footage of it, but you never know, I might do. But what you'll see is that it's just 2 of the cleansers, and then that'll be it. So to try and give you a bit of an example here, it will look kind of like that in game. So you'll see it, you just see 2 cleansers, and then physics objects won't be able to pass through, but you'll be able to fire your portals through and walk through. So what I've done is I've tried to at least create a actual field rather than modify the Portal Emancipation Field grill. What I've actually decided to do in my little project that I've done is actually give it some sort of an effect, which is given by effects.com_shield002a. That's like my designated texture for this Emancipation Field. And if we tie that, well, actually I'll paste it in because that's what I've done. But it's a funk brush. Call it, you know, in this case, physics blocker. Make sure it's additive. I made sure it has a color 24, 175, 133. And it's never solid, otherwise you would get clipped on it, and that would serve as a player physics blocker, which you don't want. So it's important that you have it to be never solid, but in my case it's this, but you can really set it to whatever you want. You can set it to whatever texture you want, or you could, in my case, try and use a particle field. However, you need to actually create a mod of Portal in order for custom particles to work. Don't know why custom particles don't work in actual, Portal itself. Even if you have custom content, I've never seemed to get it to work. Because you can use the custom, folder to add stuff, but I've never managed to get it to work. So that's why I've gone with the, the brush field idea. And just to show you what I was on about earlier, we have one func clip v physics 2, something called filter box 2, and then one just something called filter box, and that's filter box 2, which is there, and filter box 1 is somewhere else. But it's gonna pretty much say the opposite of what is said here. So is this filter box what, or just filter box in general? Yeah, it's something like that. It's supposed to basically stop all physics objects from passing through, but it's like one says allow allow entities, and the other one just says like disallow entities. So it's pretty much just everything basically. But the only other thing that I would say to kind of finish this all off is this little ambient generic in the middle here, where the particle fields would be simulated from. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this over and then just talk through what the actual properties mean. So if we paste this in, then if we zoom out a little bit, then put this in the middle where you would normally place the particle fields. And if you look into it, I've just called it physics blocker sound. It's the ambient machines combined sound loop touch, which is that sound if you heard it, which you hear in Half-Life 2. I've made it so it has a audible distance of 128 units, and it emanates from that brush, the actual field texture, the func brush, which is the physics blocker texture. So it has a range of about the corridor that you're seeing here. So that's pretty much my custom idea. If you want to see it in action, then I'm going to have to somehow get my Portal mod to work on my laptop, because I actually haven't got the mod files or anything to be able to run it. But I think what I've done here is I've made it so it's like green instead of blue for the Emancipation Field effect. So that's pretty much the basics of it. If all it boils down to really is just the two cleanser models and a func v clip physics, and that's pretty much it. That's how you create it, and then everything else is up to you what you want to do. So that has been a Valve Hammer tutorial, albeit a very short one compared to the previous one, and in a sense it is actually very simple. But I just wanted to talk about this, and hopefully if anyone watches this and they want to see other custom Emancipation Field ideas I've had, or even like a limited box idea, then I can talk through that if you want me to. And I'll create videos like this for the people that want to actually see stuff like this, the creative side of what I can do in a Portal. But with that, I have to thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for hopefully my 200 video special. So I'll see you for that, everyone.